Well, I think, as I sometimes felt, it was a no-brainer in a way. I spent most of my previous life as a mendicant. I mean, at Harvard, being a dean, I had to raise money. I mean, coming to college at Atlanta, I had to run around and raise money. And one of the things I discovered that when I was particularly at the COA, was a lot of the contributions we got came through something called public foundations. Also, I knew there were a lot of people in Maine of considerable means with a great consideration for the state and wanting to help both the summer community and the year-round community. I mean, there were possible pockets of wealth in the state of the year-round community. But the problem was, how could the people who had the means of support get together with the people who needed support? Where were they? What we would have if we had a community foundation, we'd have the representative on the board would be people from all parts of the state. And what they would have was a table, in the center of the table was some money. And nobody could touch the money to do anything in the state unless everybody agreed. So everybody, sort of per force of circumstance, had to think about the needs of the state, not just their own parochial needs in one town. This is a service organization. We're there to serve people who have funds and want to use them wisely in support of nonprofit organizations in Maine and occasionally elsewhere. And we can be their eyes and ears, and we can manage the money for them. I think the first fund we had was for $10. Bob Blum, we had to have a fund, so Bob Blum said, well, here's $10, we'll set up the Rego Fund. That was our first fund. And then King Cummings came along, and he got really interested in it. And I remember he saying, well, I think we got to do something more significant. And he set up a fund for $500,000. Well, now, you know, I began to look, maybe we were going to be real. And Marion came on as my secretary because I couldn't do anything useful. I mean, I wasn't a good typist, and I wasn't knowing about filing things and all that stuff. So Marion said she'd come on as my secretary. So that, as I say, lasted about 2 days. And after 2 days, she did all that work, but she was the partner. And we had great fun. I mean, sometimes somebody would make a proposal to us, and they didn't know anything about writing grants or really making budgets, but they had a real need for something that seemed important and a real commitment to doing something about it. And it's so refreshing to see some little guy with an idea begin something and see it grow. And partly it's what a wonderful thing it does for them. It, you know, lifts spirits. I'm as amazed as everybody else about the success so many ways of the Maine Community Foundation. The magnitude of the foundation, the range of their interests, the initiatives they've taken, I think, are just great.
I'd have to say the thing that I'm most proud of in the 9 years that I was at the foundation is the team that we developed while I was there. When I started, there were 14 people. Most of those 14 people are still there today. And we added another 13 or 14 people, and most of them are there. By the year 2008, when I left, we really had a great team. People worked well together. They understood donor relations, and everybody was a donor relations expert, and it's really benefited the foundation tremendously. The community foundation world really is only 100 years old. I mean, the first community foundation was started in 1914 in Cleveland. And so to think of the role that Maine Community Foundation in only 30 years has managed to play in the Community Foundation network. They're viewed in the eyes of many people as in the Community Foundation world and other foundations as a resource, and they're contacted all the time because of the knowledge that they've gained over the years. While I was at the foundation, there were probably three areas that we decided to focus on in particular, and they sort of morphed over the years, but one was clearly higher education. I think environment, sustainable agriculture, and all sorts of environmental work, because we had so many donors who were interested in environmental work. And we also worked to provide understanding of the importance of leadership and philanthropic leadership in Maine. The importance of philanthropy, the state of Maine, is a message that the foundation has continued to spread. The foundation is a forward-looking institution. I mean, it's just created a new strategic plan. The elements of the strategic plan are place, education, continuing to focus on education and leadership. And I think if the foundation for the next 5 to 10 years continues to work in those areas, I think it can have tremendous impact in all those areas. It's wonderful to see Maine Community Foundation celebrating its 30th year. I can't help but think that really the best days of the Maine Community Foundation are yet to come.
When I was handed the reins of the Maine Community Foundation, what I realized is that what preceded me was brilliance on the part of my predecessors. On the one hand, it was Ed Kaelber, who had the vision to create an institution such as we have today, followed by Marion, whose legacy will always be the work that we do at the grassroots level in building a community network that is totally statewide, that really supports and advances community leadership, to my immediate predecessor, Hank Schmelzer, who really helped to create the systems that allowed this community foundation to grow to what it is today. So as I think about myself, the gift that I have is being able to take all of those things and really help this organization move to the next 30 years. When I think about what's so important in Maine, it is having communities that have a vital economy and high quality of life. That's really hard to do without people who are skilled to not only take the jobs of the future, but to create the jobs of the future. So I would think that our work in higher education has been critically important to the long-term success of Maine communities. In addition to that, we're doing some very creative work outside traditional grant making. I think about the Maine Farmland Trust and how we have partnered with our donors to create a low-interest loan pool of about $1 million that supports the Maine Farmland Trust's Buy, Protect, Sell program. To a person, the people I meet care about their community. They want to be involved, they want to give back, they want to make their communities a better place. So we share that among us as people who are Mainers. We love it. We want it to be the best place ever. Here's a toast to the people who will make it happen, who are making it happen right now. And it's a toast to all of the people in Maine who care about this place and want to give back. It's a toast to the donors who help us make it happen. It's a toast to the volunteers who are working with us in making grant-making decisions to support the nonprofits. And it's a toast to all of the future generations who will benefit from the work we are doing today.